You can hear me before you see me. I got King Kong in the trunk. King Kong, King Kong, King Kong, King Kong. You can hear me before you see me. You can hear me before you see. You can hear me before you see me. I got King Kong in the trunk. King Kong, King Kong, King Kong, King Kong, King Kong. You can hear me before you see me. I got King Kong.
Good everybody, this is your boy Ced Banner, and this is my review of Kong Skull Island. So I'm tardy, I'm late on this. The film's been out almost 2 weeks at this point, but I had to go see it. I was excited about it. A lot of people know that when I list my top 5 films, favorite films of all time, 2005 King Kong is in that countdown, and that film of course was made by the great Peter Jackson. I love that film because it took the majesty of the original black and white Kong and a lot of those original monster movies and really updated it and just produced it on such a larger scale. So when I saw the previews for this new reboot or remake of Kong, I didn't know how to feel because it seemed like it wasn't going to be that at all. It seemed like it was going to be more of a hardcore type thing. And I wasn't sure if that would work for this, well, not character, but for this monster that we've grown with, King Kong. Let's get right into it. Let's start off with the acting. It has a very impressive list of actors. We have Tom Hiddleston, you will also know as Loki from the Avenger films. We have Samuel L. Jackson, who is in literally everything. We have John Goodman, who I don't know if John Goodman's ever played a bad role. I mean, John Goodman's the man. Acting is A+. All throughout the film, all the supporting actors and actresses. You even notice a couple of faces of the young actors from the NWA film Straight Outta Compton. I'll say, and this will tie into the writing. The writing, I'll go ahead and say I give an A+ as well. You only have so much to work with monster films and disaster film, blockbuster films in the first place. And when it's a remake, it's even that much more difficult to make something that feels and appears to be fresh. But the actors, of course, get plenty of screen time that is great, but it doesn't take away from the main event of the film, Kong. And then, of course, it's on Skull Island, and if you know the storyline, you know, of course, he's not the only monster or large creature on the island. But the writers did a great job of balancing it, so we get plenty of character development, a lot of human interaction, but we also get a lot of interaction with the monsters and between the creatures, the monsters, and the actual humans. And everything just works together well. It really meshes together well. I say it every review. Everyone knows by now I'm real big on the pacing of a film. The pacing, A+. With monster movies, one of the biggest annoyances for me, and I think a lot of fans, is that a film might be 2 hours long and you may not actually see the actual creature or monster until the film has already run at least an hour. That's not the case here. You see the King Kong as early as 3 minutes into the film in the prologue, and they don't hold back, and you don't feel like it's too early of a reveal either, because every time he's on screen it's something new, it's something different, and it's just intense. And I will say my most favorite thing about this film is the intensity. The film is extremely brutal when it comes to monster films and blockbusters, and it doesn't really let up. So it's great, but you have a great balance between that, like I said, the human interaction, the acting, and then John C. Reilly, who I left out, of course, you know, from all kind of comedy, Shake and Bake. John C. Reilly plays an awesome role, and he provides plenty of comedic relief, which I really enjoyed as well. But the film is very intense, and it really kept me, it really kept my attention. It really did, and I enjoyed it a lot. One last thing I have to mention: the camera work, special effects, the cinematography, all on point. Soundtrack, yeah, it was kind of generic, but the camera work, the cinematography, and special effects are all just great, on point. The CGI isn't corny at all. Very, I can't say realistic because these things aren't real, of course, nothing to compare it to, but you don't really feel like you're watching computer generated images for most of the film. Very in your face and very detailed. So, my rating for Kong Skull Island is, it is beautifully brutal. And that's the best way I can describe the film. It's beautifully brutal. It's great. It's not the kind of brutal where you feel like, this is a drag or this is too much for King Kong. It's pulled off well. I highly recommend seeing it, especially if you're a fan of monster films, the big disaster films, or just a King Kong fan. Just want to get that sense of nostalgia. You'll get that, but you'll get a very up-to-date feeling as well. One last thing, there is an after credit scene, and it is worth staying for if you're a fan of the monster films. Awesome after credit scene. And that concludes this review. My next review will be for Power Rangers coming this weekend. So until my next review, hey,